I got a call the day of, like, hey, we need a DJ for D3, who's YG's artist. Like, are you available? Like, of course. Yes. Some random dude in the crowd just like started pulling my sock down and like tried to tickle my foot and thought it was funny. They'll reach out and they'll be like, hey, do you remember me when you were 6 years old? Now I'm seeing you with YG and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, thank you. A lot of them have open verses that I just need to send out.
Can I hop on the track?
Yeah. I was going to do a couple more cities. They were supposed to have me in Toronto. I just didn't have my passport at the time.
Oh.
Now I have it.
YG, hey, yeah. Next tour. Yo, welcome back to the Heatin' Up podcast, the hottest podcast in the game. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, follow, rate, all that good stuff. But again, thank you for tuning into another episode. Today, I got the couch all alone because my co-host dipped on me. Now, it happens, but I'm not fully alone because our guest today is the man who's worked with some of the hottest rappers out, such as YG, OGZ, Lucki, and many more. He just recently released his new hit single, Bitter, featuring popular rapper Daboii. It's a man making big waves in Arizona. We got DJ HMD.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for coming on.
For sure.
It's been nice, bro. We've been kind of scheduling back and forth, and I knew we were waiting for your new song. And again, I'm happy we got you on because, first of all, it's a great song.
Thank you.
Great song, bro.
Thank you.
I'm curious to hear, first of all, like, how did this whole thing go down? Like, how did you get in touch with Daboii? Because, again, he's a popular upcoming rapper as well. Yeah. And I don't want to put shame to either Samar or Sin as well. Yeah, phenomenal rapper.
Dope female artist.
And then, so, like, everything on that song was great. How did that whole thing start? Like, has that been in the projects for a while? Like, planning?
So I've been working on this song actually for about a year and a half.
That long?
Yeah. I originally, this is the first song that I actually didn't produce from the ground up. So it's actually co-produced by this producer named Strizzy. He's from LA. And he sent me the loop for the beat, and I did literally everything else. So the 808s, the kicks, all that good stuff. The helicopter sounds that you hear at the start and everything like that. And then from there, I was just thinking, like, what's an upcoming artist? I'm always looking for like new talent to work with. So I was looking at new artists that are up and coming from LA, and I found an artist named Chris O'Bannon, and he's worked with Blast and Kalen for real and OGZ as well, and a couple other people. So I had him on the hook, and then Samara has been popping in Arizona. And I thought it would be dope to have a female artist on the record as well, just to give it that, you know. So then I sent it to her and her manager. I think her name's Naveen. Super cool people. And from there, sent it to Daboii. Talked to his manager, and I met Daboii back in 2017. I did a show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did a show with SOB RBE when they were still together. I think that was one of their last shows because some of the members didn't show up. So it was like right around the time they kind of split from a group and started doing solo stuff.
Yeah.
So I got his number there and kind of just kept in contact and sent him the record.
Man,
and
that worked out. Okay, 5 years later, paid off. So was it easy to get like kind of like the okay from them to get that feature since you kind of established that network?
Yeah, definitely. I think like building those relationships is important. I definitely think like networking's a huge thing. I go to shows all the time and just kind of keep my ear to the streets and look for talent or even people that are, you know, already established. But yeah, kind of keeping that relationship with them was important, and, you know, always supporting them, posting their stuff, and kind of just
it goes a long way. Yeah, people don't realize it goes a long way.
Definitely.
But again, I mean, you're talking about networks and all this. We talked about it a little off cam. I got surprised. You're only 24, bro.
Yeah, I'll be 25 on the 15th of April.
Oh, so, dope, bro. Yeah. Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you.
But that's crazy to me because you've been doing this how long? How many years would you say officially?
Officially, I mean, I've been doing it since I was 8, but
okay, a long ass time.
So a long time.
When did you like devote like this is it?
Probably when I was 15, 16. So coming up on 10 years. It's been a long time.
So starting out, like compared to where you are now, obviously nobody imagines, right? Like you're gonna be here. But like when you were starting out, what was the goal? Did you have this in mind? Was this the plan?
The goal for me was just to do like more shows, honestly. At the time, I was like DJing for my parents and my friends and didn't really think it would get anything much more serious than that. And then I actually went to school for audio engineering, and that's kind of around the time where I started to take it more seriously and gain more traction. I started doing local shows, and that's what really brought it out. I kind of saw the crowd interaction and loved it, and haven't looked back since. Yeah.
And so now, like, you've come from that. Are you now only, I don't want to put it in a way like it sounds arrogant, but like, do you have a certain standard of certain shows you will do? Or are you still down to do, you know what, I have a passion for it, I love it, I'll do any show?
Right now I'm doing anything. I actually have a gig with Arizona School of the Arts that I do every single year. So I'm still doing their proms. Yeah. I still do weddings, corporate gigs. I DJ for a lot of the dispensaries in Arizona. So kind of all over the place.
Helps out. Yeah. And you've been in Arizona most of your life or just recently?
Since 2016.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah. And did you come to this place specifically thinking it was going to be good for the career you chose? Or are you you just took a leap, you liked Arizona, and it just worked out?
My family actually moved out here. So I decided to take the leap with them and just saw the love out here and saw the attention that I was getting and stuck with it. And I still go back and forth because I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. So I go out there and do shows and try to give back out there as well. But Arizona is definitely my home now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Perfect. Because I've again, we had a DJ on, we had a couple of musicians on. I've asked them because I feel like there's a stereotype on Arizona, and it's like no matter what happens, people are breaking these stereotypes, but still, people in the back of their head is like, Arizona's not really like popping like that.
Yeah.
But what would you say to people that don't realize like Arizona has some great talent? And like it's showing. What do you think has to be done for Arizona to have some like respect on its name? Or do you think we've already gotten to that now?
I think we've gotten a couple artists that are slowly starting to break that, that are going out of Arizona to like LA or like Nashville, those kind of bigger markets. But Arizona definitely has like a dope hip hop and just music like audience for sure. And I think to get more eyes, we got to stop hating, kind of join together.
Yeah.
I definitely see that there's been a lot of hate out here, which I mean has its
you'll see it anywhere, but like at the same time, I mean,
but I think like coming together and definitely like throwing events. There's a company out here called AZ Way Too Active, and what they do is throw local events for artists. So I really love what they're doing. There's a couple other, or what you guys are doing as well, you know, shining light on up and coming artists and things like that.
And it's funny, like I've told people before, it just happens to be we've had a lot of musicians and artists as guests. We're not like a music podcast. So like people are, I'm getting a ton of DMs now like from musicians, and I'm like, oh shit, like I don't want to put myself in that niche because box. Again, I love music and I love what you guys do, but I'm like, I also want to branch out and do athletes. I want to do content creators. I want to do all this. But again, I'm like, oh shoot, there's a lot of great artists that I'm like, oh, I can't turn that one down. I can't turn that one down. I'm like, you're coming on, you want to be on? I'm like, well, you did have all this. I gotta have him on. So but again, it's dope what you're doing, bro.
Thank you.
Going back to your music, Spotify. You only have 6 songs though.
Yeah.
Where's the music? You've been doing this so long, and every time you drop, I'm like, hold up, this shit is great.
Yeah.
Like it's actually really good.
Thank you.
I'm like, where's an album?
Yeah.
Where are more singles? I don't mean to grill you, but like, where's the music?
Yeah. So as of right now, I'm kind of doing more like quality over quantity kind of thing. So kind of being a lot more selective on what I am dropping. But I do have a project in the works. I have about 300 plus unreleased songs that are just sitting in my phone right now with local artists and major artists. So definitely gonna sit down and make a project and start putting a lot more records out this year.
Okay, cool. So 2023, we're getting an album.
You're gonna get.
This is on air, bro. You can't take it back.
Yes, you'll get an album.
Yes. Okay, we'll get an album. Cool, bro. Because again, like you're making great music, and you say, me and my roommate talk about it all the time. All these musicians have so many unreleased, and they're so great, and they leak, and we're like, why are they not putting this out? What's the secret? Why are people holding so many songs like this in the archive?
I think a lot of it is just more like quality. I like to work on my records and make sure that they're perfect. Like I said, I've been working on Bitter for like a year and a half, and then known Daboii for 5+ years. So I think it's definitely just like perfection. I'm definitely a perfectionist. So when I do put out records, I want to make sure that, it's right. It has the proper rollout as well. And, it gets the right attention.
For sure. And then like work usually take that long? A year and a half? We're talking like, is that the longest it's taken you to make a song? Like that's a long time.
I think a year and a half is definitely like the longest it's taken for me to put it out. My engineer Alex, that's the engineer that I work with he does all my stuff. Me and him will just be in the studio like perfecting vocals and perfecting the beat over and over and over again until it's perfect. So
okay, yeah. And again, it turned out to be an amazing song, bro.
Thank you.
Like I really did love this song.
Thank you. I'm
still bumping it. Like again, it's still relatively new, and if you haven't checked it out, go check it out.
Definitely.
It's phenomenal. It's on all streaming platforms.
Yeah, it's on all streaming platforms.
Is there a main one you focus on now? Like, are you focused on Spotify, Apple Music? What is it?
Yeah, my main two would be Spotify and Apple Music. I definitely feel like I have my biggest fan base is on Spotify just because I use it and get playlisted there a little bit more. But Apple Music is definitely a big site for me as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And has there been, like, again, you've worked with a ton of artists, whether it be at shows DJing or producing or just anything like that. Do you have a specific favorite artist maybe you've worked with or you just really enjoy working with? Not to diss anyone else, but like, you know, everyone has their favorites.
Yeah, my favorite that I've worked with so far has been Emmett Dupree. I think he kind of matches that perfectionist mentality, and when we were in the studio together, he just wanted everything to be perfect, and we came up with a record called Can't Pretend, and it's been doing very well.
I saw the music video for that is sick, by
Thank
the way.
you. Yeah,
that's dope. How's it been shooting music videos? Do you shoot a ton of them for all your? Do you have one for all your songs? Again, you have 6. So
yeah,
come on, we gotta get a music video.
So Can't Pretend was actually my first video.
That was your first?
That was my first video I ever done.
So you're serious about this quality stuff. Okay, that's
so
dope.
I definitely have a couple more in the works. I'm working on getting a video done for Bitter. Just kind of getting all the artists out here.
That's probably the hardest part.
It's just scheduling.
Yeah.
But yeah, Can't Pretend, that was definitely a really fun experience. We shot that in a backyard actually, and then had a whole like Thanksgiving kind of setup. With the people that were wearing masks, and we had different colors that we were kind of going for, but we shot that in maybe 5-6 hours.
Really?
The whole
That's
video.
Not bad,
yeah.
You know? That's not bad. And again,
Yeah.
The quality was phenomenal. I like the concept, you know, Can't Pretend, the mask, all that stuff. That was good. Was it a big production like you had for that? Because again,
yeah, there was a whole crew. We had about say 8 to 10 extras that were there, plus me and Emmett. The crew was about probably 15 to 20 people that were behind the scenes, whether it was like costume design, lighting, things of that nature. So yeah, it was a pretty big production.
Yeah. And do you are these people you know, or you just kind of hired for this?
Yeah, so the person that shot it, his name's Ian QB. He's worked with Jalopy Bungus, who is pretty popular in Arizona, and then also Emmett. He does all Emmett's videos. And I think he might have done some stuff for Lyrical Lemonade as well. And
sick.
Like I think he did some stuff behind the scenes for Lil Baby like a while ago. So
okay, that's dope.
Yeah,
okay.
definitely
want from Arizona.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, sick. Yeah. So have you you're from not from Arizona, but like you brand yourself in Arizona. Stuff
I definitely
like that.
claim Arizona now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you focus on working with specific Arizona artists, or are you good to work with whoever?
Yeah, I get hit up a lot. I'm always looking for up and coming artists. I definitely look for quality, but I mean I'm out at events all the time looking for new artists. So I'd say as of right now, a lot of the artists that I'm working with are from Arizona just because I'm here. But when I go to LA, I always look at artists over there as well and all around. So it doesn't have to be strictly Arizona for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's switch it up. Let's talk about the Red Cup tour.
Right.
Sick. YG, OGZ, ton of other artists. That tour, first of all, how did you even get called up to such a big tour like that, bro? Yeah,
so I've known YG since I was in high school.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, how?
So he would do parties in Portland, and he would do shows at this theater called the Roseland. So around the time he had dropped this mixtape called 400 Degrees. This is like early YG. And I had listened to that and just gone to his shows, and this is when like his shows there'd be like less than 100 people.
Damn, bro, I can't even imagine YG having less than 100. Yeah.
And from there, he would do house parties in Portland after the show. So I would DJ those or just go and support. Because at the time, all I was listening to growing up was like E40, Snoop Dogg. And then like YG was kind of coming up right underneath them. So from there, I always kept that connection. I didn't really know anybody around him, but I had met him a couple times and, just been a fan, taking pictures and whatnot. And then probably about 4 years ago, I started going to all of his 400 flowers events, so his new weed strain. And I met, yeah,
good thing to pop out.
Yeah. And he would do meet and greets at like the cookie store and things like that. And I met his, I think it's his brother or his cousin, Cam, who runs all of his social media for 400 Flowers. So I got tapped in with him and then started meeting people around his team and just networking. And I met my other homie, his name's Hundo, who is YG's artist, D3's hype man. So kind of just putting those connections together, I got a call the day of, like, hey, we need a DJ for D3, who's YG's artist. Like, are you available? Bro, I was like, of course. Yes. Yeah. Not going to pass up on that opportunity. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And from there, we hung out with them the whole day. We went to Jaguars and had a good time there. And the day after, I met OGZ. I met Kaylin For Real, who was on the tour as well, and then ended up DJing for D3 at the Arizona Federal Theater. Yeah.
And so, did you specifically get called up for the Arizona show, or did you get to tour around with them a couple other cities?
It was just the Arizona show. I was gonna do a couple more cities. They were supposed to have me in Toronto. I just didn't have my passport at the time.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and it was
bad time to not have your passport, bro.
Yeah. Now I have it.
Okay. YG, next tour
for sure. But yeah, it was closer to the end of their tour, so yeah, I only ended up doing Arizona. But yeah, it was a
what was that
experience.
like, bro? Being there like on top, because I heard Arizona was one of his biggest shows.
Yeah,
I heard that popped out crazy.
Maybe a little bit less than 10,000, because I think the Arizona Federal Theater holds right around 10,000.
Yeah, and it was packed
and completely sold out.
Crazy. Again, you've done a lot of shows. How is that show in comparison to the shows you've done?
Nothing like it.
Yeah.
Just like seeing the fans and everybody looking at you and singing songs like word for word, and them, if you're screaming like turn up, they say turn up, or what, you can say whatever you want on the mic and they're gonna go crazy. It's definitely a surreal feeling.
Yeah. What was the pressure like? Again, you've been doing it, you're young, right?
Yeah.
I'm 21. I still have pressure on certain things like this, and I'm like, there's 2 cameras and my roommate, so I'm like having 10,000 people, phones on you, everything like that. You've done it a long time. You're confident in your work, but surely the pressure is a little bit there. How was that? Like, what was that like?
I still get butterflies at every single show. I try to drink water, take a deep breath before I go. Drink Prime too.
Come on now. Anyway,
and take a deep breath before I go on stage. But just getting those jitters out of the way and kind of doing this over and over and over again, you get used to it. Whether it's 100 or 10,000 people, it's still the same at the end of the day. It's just more eyes.
That's dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And so, like, what was the after the show? After parties? Did they have anything like that going on? Or?
Yeah, I think we went to 1111 Scottsdale. It's a new club out there. It was YG and OGZ, so we just went there and hung out, kind of celebrated the tour, and had a good time. So
you not like you already knew YG and all that stuff, but like the people around him, the networks you built alongside them. Yeah. Has that been something now you're planning to kind of maybe not take advantage of, but that's a bad way to put it, but like start utilizing a little more? Like, do you want to get in connects with certain people from YG side of things? Maybe get a track with OGZ or something like that. Yeah. Is that something on your mind?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but like.
I put it wrong. That's my fault.
But networking, I think, is definitely important, especially as a DJ. Building those connections, you never know where they could go. Now I spin all their records, so I think now all it would take is me to send a beat and say, hey, check it out, or play them some music in the studio and get something. But I definitely could see myself working with like a OGZ or a YG in the future.
Oh, dope, bro. Yeah. Okay. And quality. We're talking quality. You have YG on the track. That's gonna hit. That's so crazy. So what's a dream artist you kind of have a dream of collabing with?
Dream artist. I've always wanted to work with Ty Dolla $ign.
Okay, that's
kind of a surprise when I say that. I think people might think I might shoot. No offense to him, but people might think I shoot bigger. But I think a Ty Dolla $ign, he's just so versatile with what he can do. He can get on any record. Like, we can make a gospel record, we can make an R&B song, we can make a party song. So I definitely want to get in the studio with him and kind of see what we can come up with, as well as YG. I think that's
YG. That'd be a sick one.
Yeah.
And again, like you put your mark on YG. Maybe in the future,
Yeah,
why not?
definitely.
So, I mean, are you excited for? Again, you're only 24.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see this stopping for God knows how long. You do this forever.
For
So
sure.
it's like, what's your main goal? Do you have a specific goal for this year? And then like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, so my goal for this year, I just want to come up with a solid project. Still getting features to put together. Like I said, I have about like 300 unreleased songs. So just finishing all of them, narrowing them down. A lot of them have open verses that I just need to send out to other artists.
Can I hop on the track? Or?
Yeah.
This is actually my true passion. That's why I started it. No, it's funny.
But yeah, like putting together a solid project, networking a little bit more, getting more of like a solid rollout together for when I'm ready to sit down and drop a project. Maybe talk to a couple labels and kind of work with them and see what I can do. But 5 years from now, I definitely want to work with more major artists. I definitely want to be doing bigger shows, more tours, and then also just give back to the community and things like that too.
Okay, dope, bro. And then do you see yourself now focusing more on the music side rather than the show side? Because again, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
It's like you can't be pulled every this way. So it's like, are you more focused on the music this year, maybe coming back certain times on the shows, or is there, what are you kind of thinking on that department?
Yeah, for this year, I'm definitely focused more on music and stepping out as an artist and a DJ. I've definitely kind of taken a step back from doing shows just because they're fun, but they can get a little overwhelming and give me a little anxiety and all that good stuff as well. But
what's the craziest thing that's happened to you at a show?
At the Lucki show that I did, I took my shoes off because I stage dived and I didn't want to kick anybody. And one of the fans tried to take my sock off. Just like I was like on the stage, like taking a video of the crowd, and this dude started like tickling my foot and tried to take my sock off.
Hey, did he get close?
He was like pretty close, and I was like, "Hey."
That's good. And you felt that? Like all the adrenaline? Like he probably thought, I got him. I got him. That's funny. Wait, it's just a dude?
Yeah, some random dude in the crowd just like started pulling my sock down and like tried to tickle my foot and thought it was funny.
Bro, people really have no chill at these shows. Like, are hella people just drunk at the shows?
Drunk, high, or they might just be high off adrenaline and want to have a good time, but
or a sock, or
or
a sock.
They just want to tickle your foot and have a sock.
That's
but
funny. That is weird. What the heck? Okay, and so like, what's the audience interaction been like at these shows? I mean, have you been welcoming to certain people at the shows, or are you kind of like a little colder because you're like, I don't know these people, I'm kind of worried that they're gonna take my shoe next time? like what are you get a little worried seeing all these people?
I used to get nervous, but now I feel like I'm a little bit more open with my fans and people at shows. I always try to do like a meet and greet and just talk to people at the end, which also expands my network and just gives me people listening to me more. But at the shows lately, I feel like I've gotten a really good response. I try to have those like rage kind of shows, like the Lucki show, where I'm jumping in the crowd or talking on the mic more and doing a little bit more hosting. So kind of getting out of my element a little bit more. I've been trying to host on the mic a little bit more. So
that's sick. Again, it's like you're now finding your voice and stuff like that, and that's important because you've been doing it a long time, but you're now growing into it. You're kind of, do you think you found yourself yet, or are you still kind of building on it and trying to see where you're at?
I feel like in the past like year or two, I've definitely started to find myself with my music and also DJing. I feel like I've done a lot bigger shows now. So now I can handle, the crowd interaction. I can handle getting on the mic and not being scared. And then with my music, I have, specific rollouts and certain things that I've learned over the years that I can do when I put out a song. So I definitely feel like I've found myself in the past year or two.
Do you think, again, not to bring out arrogance, but like now that you've done these big shows, you've seen some people like turn off and be like, hey, don't talk to me no more. Like, I'm over here. I'm not saying you've gotten that way, but you sort of see yourself in a different light to where I'm like, okay, I don't want to take a step back because I'm only moving forward. So how do I get bigger and better? Or are you still like, you know what, I'm going to do whatever just because it doesn't matter to me what the image is.
Yeah, I think my image, I definitely try to carry myself a certain way, but I don't have an ego. That's one of the big things that I had to learn pretty quickly is the artists and people that I've met that have an ego, they don't last very long in this industry. So I always try to be humble and, talk to people and kind of share my experience, and help people out.
And again, you've done a great job of it, bro. Like, I'm excited to see what you have next because, again, the music is phenomenal.
Thank you.
We're looking out for the album. Like, don't
For
like
sure.
in a few months, you're going to get a DM and be like, bro, where's the album? Has it been surreal to you? Because, again, I'd imagine you're just a fan of rap in general.
Yeah.
So seeing all these people and all these rappers, who do you mainly listen to?
Right now, I'm listening to a lot of Larry June. I'm listening to Blast. I've started listening to a lot more R&B. I feel like with my project, that's kind of the direction that I want to go in. I feel like there's not a lot of DJs that are making R&B and like music that has substance. So I still will have those party records, but I feel like I'm gonna start going into a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else am I listening to? I'm listening to a lot of Kamaya. Me and her just got a record together. She's from LA Bay Area. I'm listening to a lot of J Waves and Daily Finesse. They're from Arizona. They just dropped a project that's really dope. And yeah, those are the main artists I'm gonna listen to right now.
It's so again, like, not to discredit any of them, but it's like you're not listening to the mainstream people.
Yeah.
Is there a reason behind that? Have you always liked showing more local love rather than the mainstream, or are you just not in tune with like what they're doing in the mainstream?
I love mainstream music, but I try not to listen to it as much. I try to keep my ear to what's up and coming so that I can make stuff like that before it catches on, or try to find an artist before they pop. An artist like Kamaya, she used to be signed to YG. So she's, still in her grind. She's doing her thing. But yeah, I definitely think I listen to a lot more up and coming music and try to support that more. And I think that definitely helps when I create new things. Instead of trying to create something that's already on the radio, I try to create something new.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. And then now that you've kind of found your footing and all of this stuff and you're kind of seeing where this goes, have you ever gotten like discouraged, like, because again, numbers do play a big role in like the scene that we're in general. So it's like, have you ever been focused on the numbers? Has that not even been like a thought of yours? Or because they do matter, like, you see them, and it's like we live in that society now to where it does matter. And again, you want to grow, so it's like, have you caught yourself lurking at the numbers and trying to figure out what pops in terms of numbers?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everybody, holds themselves to a certain standard, whether they look at numbers or not. I try not to, because sometimes you can kind of get down on yourself, or, there might be a month or two where I go without gigs for that period of time, and I get in that kind of depressive state. But, knowing that I have fans out there and people that support me to keep me going is definitely what keeps me going. So I try not to look at it too much. Yeah.
Okay. And the friends and people like you knew maybe back in the day and stuff like that, how's that been like now? Do they reach out, like, now that you've reached a little bit of success here, have you seen like some quick switches like, hey bro, remember me? Like, I feel like that happens all the time, but how's that been like dealing with the people? Maybe, I don't want to call it fake love, but certain things like that.
Yeah, I definitely get friends and family that, I might not have talking to for
third cousin, bro. Remember me, man?
Yeah, because my dad's side, he has a bunch of family members. So sometimes like they'll reach out and they'll be like, hey, do you remember me when you were 6 years old? Like, now I'm seeing you with YG and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Yeah. But, I definitely try to keep my circle small. I definitely have, those people that support me. I have my fans who I always try to show love to and give back to, but I definitely keep my circle small now. I have myself, I have my engineer, and, the people that are close with me that always are going to support me, and I support them. And every time I win, it's a win for them too, So,
bro, I think that's a great message to leave. To be honest, this went way quicker than I thought. I was like, oh shit! But I think that was perfect. I loved. It was nice getting to know you and stuff like that. And
likewise.
Honestly, amazing work you've been doing. I'm excited to see what you have next.
For sure.
Any last shout outs? Anything you got in the works? Again, album coming 2023. But anything else you want to quickly shout out?
Yeah, so Bitter with Chris O'Bannon, Samarson, and Daboii is out right now, all streaming platforms. I just want to give a huge shout out to my engineer, Alex. He's been supporting me and working on all my stuff lately. He's been a huge support. And then, yeah, album on the way. Look out for some crazy features on there.
DJ HMD, appreciate you coming out for real, bro.
Thank you.
Check him out. All links in the description below. But again, we hope you enjoyed this. I say we. My co-host isn't here. But hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, share. We love y'all. Heatin' Up Podcast is out.